You're not going to find a better quality outdoor composite leather basketball quality. You will definitely find a higher quality basketball in terms of, many of you probably are familiar with the TF 1000 basketball. That basketball is primarily an indoor basketball. It's intended for indoor use, but if you get your hands on a brand new TF 1000, it's going to feel amazing, especially compared to either one of these basketballs. But that basketball is intended for indoor use. When you're talking specifically about outdoor use, these basketballs are on the highest level of outdoor composite leather basketballs as far as their materials are concerned. And the pebbling on each basketball complements each basketball perfectly. There's nothing special about either one of the pebblings on these basketballs. They're both pretty flat, they're both pretty forgettable, but that's fine because they fit each basketball perfectly the way they're meant to be. For instance, in the hand, this forged basketball feels a little bit more leathery than this Spalding TF basketball. And since this basketball feels a little bit more leathery, it has a little bit more pronounced peb on it. That makes sense because the more silky and soft a basketball feels, you need a little bit more pronounced pebbling on the basketball to compensate for that. But when a basketball feels a little bit more rubbery on its panels, right, you don't really need more pronounced pebbling because the panel already feels a little bit more tacky. So both pebbling on each basketball are perfect for what they're supposed to be. And you put the pebbling together with the material that they're made of, and again, you get the highest level of outdoor composite leather basketballs. There may be other basketballs that can reach this level of quality, but there's nothing that I'm aware of that surpasses this quality of basketball. I will say that if I were just sitting down watching a game and I wanted a basketball in my hand while I was watching a game, I would want this basketball in my hand just because it feels more leathery, right? It feels more comfy, it feels more luxurious, it has that softness, that silkiness, a little bit of that cushion in the basketball, right? It just feels like a good quality basketball to have in your hand if I were just sitting around watching a game. If I were to be playing though, I would like this basketball better just because it has that sticky tackiness a little bit more than this basketball has. So if I'm on the court and I'm actually looking for control and precision, this ball would have a little bit of an edge over this ball just because it feels a little bit more tacky in the hand. Grip channels are the most differentiating criteria between these two basketballs, and it's rather surprising because Spalding basketballs usually have pretty forgettable, unnoticeable grip channels. But in this basketball, I'm very impressed by how actually noticeable the grip channels are. They're deeper than usual, they're as wide as usual, but the great thing about the grip channels on this basketball is the rubber inseam on here is very tacky, very rubbery, very grippy. Great grip inside the grip channels of this Spalding basketball. That's usually not the case. With Wilson, they usually just get grip channels right. They usually just know how to do grip channels on a basketball. On this basketball, the grip channels are nice and wide like they usually are. They're not quite as deep as I would expect them to be, but the major problem with this basketball is the inseam in this basketball, this rubber strip going all around the basketball. Initially, when the basketball is really new, completely brand new, it's slippery. That's never happened with a Wilson basketball with me before. I've never experienced a Wilson basketball that has slippery inseams in its grip channel.